Morning, Paul. It's Tuesday, the 29th of November. Here's the heads up brief for today.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. Uday, go ahead.
So, Paul, in Indonesia, we've talked about the minimum wage issue for 2023. So, workers have threatened protests in Jakarta and the rest of Indonesia from next week. Yesterday, authorities announced the new minimum wages, and the workers are saying it doesn't take into account inflation.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Obviously, it's something that's very sensitive in Indonesia, and it's a real Rubik's cube for the various ministries to juggle. But yeah, keep us posted, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Paul, in Thailand, Deputy Prime Minister Prawit Wongsuwan said that the Palang Pracharat Party, which he leads, and the United Thai Nation Party are one. So this is a follow-up to what we were discussing yesterday. It seems that it could be a possible Prayut kind of collaboration with this party.
Yeah, look, as I predicted, anything that's going on between Prawit and Prayut, given the level of maturity of those guys and the critical stance roles they have for the bigger picture under the royal family, I think we really need to look at it beyond how the average voter in Isan is going to look at it. We need to look at it with a long-term strategic view. I think we're probably going to see other parties materialise to ensure that so-called good guys win yet again. But, I mean, obviously a lot of people don't understand the dynamics of Thaksin and what he was really up to. Most of them get lost in the Thaksin media propaganda, but pretty sure the royal family, Prawit and Prayut, don't. If Prawit does go and run his own race, I think he'll pretty quickly remember where the power lies. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Paul's still in Thailand. About 500 people protested yesterday against violence in Narathiwat. Last week, one person was killed and 30 people were injured in a car bomb that targeted a police complex.
I'm sure we can no doubt hear about security is being reinforced, and there's no real issue that the Narathiwat, Patani, Yala, and even Songkla issues are real. They're tangible, and they're decades old. So I think we need to ignore most of the announcements on bolstering security in response to that protest. It's a real concern for the people living in the South. It's not only a movement for the protection of cultures, but there's a lot of messy intertwining between various powerful officials in Bangkok and business interests that they are entangled with most inappropriately in the South. So expect this to continue. Expect there not to be a solution, and expect there to be, only talk of big sticks, and it's really going nowhere. There's a whole heap of NGOs and do-gooders in Malaysia and Singapore amongst the academic world that want to assist, but they're more a part of a problem than a solution. The problem can only be solved by a mind shift in Bangkok that starts to see these people as very different from the rest of mainstream Thailand. I mean, the South speaks Malaysian as well as Thai. It speaks pretty much their own dialect. They see themselves as being part of the Sultanate of Patani historically. The border was actually moved. They used to be part of Malaysia, though they don't identify any stronger with Malaysia than they do with Thailand. That Patani linkage, historically, that's what they identify to. So I don't think we're going to see anything in the positive. There's nothing on the horizon that's going to change that scenario in the south of Thailand. Go ahead, mate.
Right, thanks for that assessment, Paul. That's very interesting. Moving over to South Asia, Paul, in Sri Lanka, anti-government protests will be held across the country tomorrow, including in Colombo. So it's pretty much more of the same there. It is stabilizing a little bit, but there's still a lot of anti-government sentiments.
Okay, thank you.
Paul, regarding the Nepal elections, the results should come out today, but the way it's looking right now, we could get a possibly hung parliament as there's no clear majority.
Yeah, and that always leads to a lot of instability. That's scary. I would like you to send me if we don't produce it as part of our normal assessments and analysis, I really would like to see the seats, which groups have how many seats once it is finalised, because that helps me to analyse potential for unrest moving forward, depending on who holds what seats and where the lines of ambiguity are blurred best.
Yeah, definitely, Paul. We'll get on that. Paul, in Pakistan, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, or the Pakistani Taliban, has called on its fighters to stage attacks against the country and security forces yesterday. So the ceasefire has broken down and peace talks have hit a wall. This does not bode well for Pakistan's security environment.
Yeah, okay, great update. Thank you.
Lastly, Paul, in the Europe, Middle East, and Africa region, Italy plans to apply a 50% windfall tax, one-off windfall tax next year for energy companies that have, gotten a big surplus from the surge of oil and gas prices this year. Now, this comes as the government is dealing with the energy crisis, which led to the downfall of the previous government.
Yeah, thanks for that. I mean, that's a very interesting move, and I don't think they'll be the last country to do that. It'll be interesting to see what impact that has on the ENI stock price in particular. If you could have Rugger or one of the economic analysts to just have a squiz at that for me.
Yeah, sure, we'll do, Paul. That's a heads up brief for today. Anything else from you?
No, thanks a lot. Great brief. Cheers.